She just rejected you. It stung, didn't it? That feeling of a sharp pang in your chest, a momentary lapse in your breath, and the realization that someone you may have cared about has chosen a different path. But what if I told you that your silence right now is doing something to her mind that she never expected? What if deep down she's beginning to second-guess herself? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your silence after rejection is a psychological game changer. Rejection is a powerful emotional experience, not just for the one who has been turned down, but also for the one issuing the rejection. It's a complex web of emotions that can lead to self-reflection, doubt, and even regret. Psychologically speaking, when a woman rejects a man, she typically anticipates a response, a chase, a plea for validation, an attempt to change her mind. But when you do the opposite, when you choose to stay silent, you disrupt her expectations. And this, my friend, is where the magic happens, the power of silence. Silence can be one of the most potent weapons in emotional dynamics. It triggers curiosity. It leaves a void that her mind tries to fill. Did I make the right decision? Why hasn't he tried again? Is he over me already? These questions race through her mind, creating an internal dialogue that often leads to uncertainty. You see, when you withdraw your attention, you create a vacuum, and human nature absolutely abhors a vacuum. The moment you pull back, she is forced to confront the reality of your absence. This isn't just theoretical, it's grounded in psychology. The kind scarcity principle, though, states that people place a higher value on what is less available. Your silence makes you scarce, and scarcity in turn creates desire. As she grapples with her decision, she begins to wonder, did he move on already? Why isn't he hurt? Was I wrong about him? The irony here is striking. Instead of you seeking her validation, she is now the one seeking yours. Emotional dynamics of rejection. Women and men process emotions differently, and this divergence is key to understanding the aftermath of rejection. Initially, she may feel a sense of control, convinced that she made the right choice by rejecting you. But as time passes and you maintain your silence, doubt begins to seep in. This is where the emotional switch occurs. She transitions from confidence to curiosity, then to uncertainty, and sometimes even to regret. Suddenly, she finds herself craving your attention. She wants to know what's happening in your life. That silence, it becomes deafening in her mind. Imagine this scenario. A few weeks pass after the rejection. You've taken the time to focus on yourself, perhaps hitting the gym, picking up new hobbies, or spending quality moments with friends. If during this period of silence, she sees you thriving, living life to the fullest, embracing new experiences, and becoming the best version of yourself, her perception of you starts to shift dramatically. This phenomenon is known as the social proof effect. When others recognize you as valuable, attractive, or desirable, even those who once rejected you begin to question their decision. She might start thinking, maybe I judged him too soon. Perhaps he was actually a great guy and I missed out. Once that thought takes root, her rejection transforms into a sense of loss on her part, not yours. Navigating communication after silence. Now let's discuss what happens if she reaches out. This is a critical moment. First, don't jump at the opportunity. It's essential to keep your cool. Be polite, but don't act desperate. Make her feel like you've genuinely moved on, that your life is full and engaging. This maintains your position of power. A short neutral response makes her wonder if she still has any emotional hold over you, and that, my friend, is how you regain control. Consider this. If she texts you after weeks of silence, expressing her thoughts or asking how you've been, respond thoughtfully, but without overwhelming her with emotions. You might say something like, hey, I've been doing well. Thanks for asking. Just focusing on some personal projects and enjoying life. This type of response shows that you are not only okay, but thriving without her, which can evoke a sense of curiosity and possibly even jealousy. The reality of rejection and moving on. However, it's crucial to acknowledge that not every rejection will lead to a change of heart. Sometimes the best response is genuinely moving on. Focus on self-improvement, leveling up in your personal and professional life, and attracting someone who recognizes your worth without hesitation. Remember, your value doesn't decrease because someone fails to see it. This journey of self-discovery and growth can be incredibly rewarding. It's not just about winning someone back, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. Engaging in hobbies, pursuing passions, and surrounding yourself with supportive friends can significantly enhance your confidence and outlook on life. As you navigate through this process, when Ethan was rejected by Emma, he simply nodded, smiled, and walked away. No pleading, no questions, no desperation. His calm silence sent a message louder than any words. He valued himself above her approval. As days passed, Emma expected him to reach out, to fight for her, to chase, but he never did. Instead, he lived his life with unwavering confidence, posting moments of joy, success, and freedom that quietly tormented her. Her initial relief transformed into doubt, then into regret, as she questioned why he seemed unaffected. Each day, his silence gnawed at her subconscious. Was I never important? Did he never care? Is he stronger without me? The void left by his indifference destabilized her emotions, amplifying his perceived value. When they crossed paths again, his polite but distant demeanor only intensified her desire. As she began subtly chasing him, liking posts, sending texts, starting conversations, his calm, unbothered responses drew her in deeper. Finally, unable to resist, she confessed she had made a mistake, admitting that his strength and composure after rejection revealed his true worth. Ethan's mastery of emotional discipline proved a timeless truth. Sometimes a man's silence after rejection triggers far greater desire than words ever could. Ethan stood there, staring into her eyes. The words had already left her mouth, but they still echoed in his mind. I think we should just be friends. The familiar sting settled deep in his chest, but his face remained perfectly still. No reaction, no argument, no plea, no desperation. He simply nodded. All right, he said calmly, his voice steady and flat. I respect your decision. For a moment, even she seemed surprised by his composure. He didn't beg, didn't ask why, didn't try to convince her otherwise. Instead, he stepped back, smiled politely, and left. It was over. At least that's what she thought. But what she didn't know was that his silence, that powerful, disciplined silence, would haunt her more than any words ever could. Most men, when faced with rejection, collapse under the weight of it. They chase, they text, they ask for explanations, they try to bargain. But Ethan wasn't like most men. Ethan understood something she didn't. Women are far more affected by a man's response after rejection than by the rejection itself, because deep inside, every woman is a natural test. How much does this man value himself? How strong is he? How much power does he hold when I pull away? And when a man remains silent after rejection, he sends a message louder than words. You are free to leave, but I am not desperate for your validation. Ethan's silence wasn't meant to manipulate her. It was who he was. He had mastered emotional discipline. He didn't need her to feel complete. And that, ironically, was exactly what started to break her. In the days that followed, Emma found herself checking her phone more than usual. No message, no call, no social media likes, nothing. She told herself she was relieved. She had made the right decision. She needed space. She needed freedom. But deep in her subconscious, a different emotion was brewing: unease. Why isn't he reaching out? Why isn't he trying to get me back? Didn't he care? Was I not important to him? Did I misread his feelings? Or worse, did he never really want me? Women are wired to desire attention, especially from men they find valuable. Ethan's complete withdrawal was unnatural to her expectations. The silence became louder with each passing day. Reflect on what you've learned from the rejection. Every experience, positive or negative, is an opportunity for growth. Embrace the lessons and use them to fuel your journey forward. Closing thoughts. If you found this video insightful, hit that like button, subscribe for more psychological insights, and drop a comment below. Have you ever used silence after rejection? Did it change the game for you? Let's talk about it. Remember, in the face of rejection, staying silent can be your most strategic move. The game of emotions is complex, but with the right mindset and approach, you can navigate it effectively. Until next time, stay strong, stay silent, and stay winning.